I know when you're a short girly like me, just how frustrating it can be to feel stuck at a current weight or just stuck in a period of time where you're not seeing any progress at all, or maybe you're even moving in the opposite direction. This was me about 7 years ago. I'm 5'1", short girly, and I was stuck completely where I was at, doing HIIT workouts every day, doing tons of cardio, trying to restrict my calories, eat less than 1,200 calories per day, because that's what I thought I needed to do as a petite girl. However, that was not helping me at all. I was completely stuck at this body weight and shape. So I went from about 125-ish in that picture to 110 now, but it's really not what you think that got me through this period of time. And I'm hesitant to call it a plateau. So keep watching to find out whether you're in a plateau or not, and what to do if you find yourself actually in one. Before we get started, I want to let you know that today's video is sponsored by Element. Element is a yummy electrolyte mix that I always have on hand to keep me hydrated. When you lose fluids through sweat, you also lose electrolytes. Drinking water alone won't replenish those lost electrolytes or salts. Rehydrating with water plus electrolytes is necessary to replenish those lost electrolytes and become fully rehydrated again. Element is my favorite way to rehydrate because it has a science-backed ratio of potassium, sodium, and magnesium, but without any sugar, artificial ingredients, food color, fillers, or BS. I love to have Element after I work out, or even after having a couple drinks with friends, because #balance. Right now, Element is offering my community a free sample pack with any order. You can get yours at drinkelement.com/AprilVictoria. This deal is only available through my link. You must go to drinklmnt.com/AprilVictoria. All right, you guys, let's dive into today's video. Okay, so a plateau in health, typically in weight loss, refers to any period of time where you stop seeing results despite consistent effort. So you stop seeing any progress or change in whatever it is that you've been wanting to change about your health. How do you know if you're in a plateau as a petite? Because there's gonna be some different things for us as petites that I really want to pay attention to. Number one, you have to have been consistent, okay? If you're not even trying to lose weight, or you have to be honest here, if you've fallen off the wagon and not seen any weight loss, that's not consistent. So the first thing is you have to have been consistent, and I mean honestly consistent. So before we even ask ourselves if we're in a plateau, check in with yourself and be real about if you've actually been consistent, or, oh, did you kind of go off of your plan for the week? Did the weekend get a little crazy? Just, there's no judgment here, but just be real so that you don't feel frustrated and blame it on a plateau when that's not really what's happening. So you have to have been consistent. Secondly, you have to basically be seeing no noticeable, measurable results. So if you are not weighing yourself and your goal is weight loss, but you're not sure if you're losing weight, you also won't know if you're in a plateau. So having some way that you've measured that the status quo is happening, whether that's a number on the scale, measurements, progress photos, just seeing no noticeable measured results whatsoever. And the third one here, this is very important. It has to have been a long enough time for natural fluctuations, okay? Natural fluctuations to even out, making it very clear whether the progress has truly stalled. I wrote this down because it's very important. This for petites is typically around 4 to 6 weeks. Taller people could notice it a little bit faster, but for us petites, for reasons I'll get into later, typically around 4 to 6 weeks. And to understand whether something is a normal fluctuation or an actual regression where you're actually gaining weight now, we need to understand what normal weight loss looks like scientifically. I know we're all smart here, but I swear even the smartest clients that I work with suffer from this mindset trap as a petite. It's this idea that we're gonna see the scale go down every single day, right? When we step on it and we're in a weight loss journey or a body recomposition journey, which is just not gonna happen, because if you saw the scale go down every single day, you would lose weight so fast, and even people who lose weight fast, it doesn't look like that. Here's a chart and an example of what very typical studied weight loss looks like. It is never a straight line down. It always has peaks and valleys, but it trends downward. And I know we all wanna see the scale just go straight down, or at least just not go back up, right? Because there are things in life that only go in one direction, like our age. Obviously we only get older, And our height, which only goes up, except in our case around here, doesn't always go as far as we want, right? 5'1", self-proclaimed, definite shorty here, did not grow past a certain point. But either way, this is a kind of numerical or like mathematical term called monotonic. It just means it's something that moves consistently in one direction. Weight loss is not monotonic, okay? This is scientifically a fact. Weight loss is not monotonic, meaning it's not going to consistently move in only one direction to the end goal or the end weight. And so this does naturally make it hard to tell whether a fluctuation is just a blip on the journey or an actual data point in the wrong direction and a sign that you've gained weight. What you truly need to understand if you want to assess whether you're in a real plateau or not is you need to measure and look at trends, not singular data points. What I recommend as an example for weight loss, weigh yourself every day and then take the average from the week. So it's an average of all the little fluctuations throughout the week. You will see on the scale Monday through Sunday, it go up, it go down, it go up, it go down. But if you are not in a plateau, you will see the trend over time. So the line going down will average out and show you really if you're in a plateau or not. There's lots of other areas in the world where we use this, like the stock market and things that are not monotonic, like things that we really need to look at the averages of instead of specific data points. So don't get emotional if you see the scale jump up. It's completely a normal part of weight loss, and it doesn't mean that you are in a plateau necessarily. However, if you're looking at a 4 to 6 week average and the trend is a straight line or it's going in the opposite direction, that's probably a good sign that you are in fact in a plateau. Here's some reasons that plateaus might be happening to you as a petite so that you can understand why it's a little bit different for us short women, specifically like 5'4" and shorter. First of all, we have a smaller margin for error. So a slight deviation from the plan, not saying you're eating low calorie because that's never the plan around here on this channel, but a slight deviation from the plan in a week can cause a spike in your weight on the scale for one day, or it can cause you to stall your progress. And this could either be a miscalculation in your macros, or it could be just one night you kind of went off the rails and ate way more calories than you normally would, or you didn't really plan accordingly that day, and so the plan just didn't happen that day. For a taller person, they may not feel this because their room for error is a lot larger, their margin for error, but for us, we can feel changes to calories and it shows a lot more. Especially now if you're a petite woman following the old way, like the tall girl way of losing weight, where you're going really, really like low in calories, you're reducing calories and doing a lot of cardio, you probably only have 1,000 calories you're eating, which is not what I recommend for weight loss or body recomposition. And then if you just go 200 calories over, you just merely look at a bagel, right? You will actually start to gain weight because of something called metabolic adaptation. This is another reason why us petites are more susceptible to plateaus or stalls and fat loss. When you diet too low, your body becomes adaptive. It adapts to what you're currently eating, and so your metabolism slows and you no longer lose weight at that number of calories you're eating. I will see this a lot of times in my practice on our team where petite women come in and they've been eating so low in calories for so long that they will now effectively gain weight if they eat over 1,200 calories. And this is because they've changed their maintenance calories to be at a lower number than what it used to be. This is why crash diets and fad diets only work temporarily and don't get you the long-term sustainable results that you're looking for. There's also exercise fatigue or just efficiency. If you're just doing tons of cardio and hit high intensity, your body will adapt to that as well, and you will no longer see results doing those things. And you might feel like you need to do even more cardio or even more exercise to see further results, when really it's just creating higher levels of stress hormones and breaking you down and causing stress that's now keeping you holding on to belly fat. So it's kind of like this nasty cycle that builds and builds and builds. And for us petites, changes in body composition over time might be harder to see and just less noticeable because of our smaller frames. This can make plateaus frustrating for us because even if you're making, you're building muscle and you're losing fat, muscle weighs more than fat, and so you may not see the scale go down as fast because you're gaining muscle at the same time, and so the scale kind of nets out. There's also, remember, the same number of calories in a pound of fat for everyone. A pound of fat is always 3,500 calories. For a petite woman to burn that in a week, because she has less calories she eats in a day generally and lower caloric needs, it's gonna take her twice as long to burn 3,500 calories as a taller person. That's because we're efficient, we have less muscle, we have smaller organs overall. So it's also just gonna take longer, and that can make us think that we're in a plateau when really it's normal for us petites. We just have to do it a little bit longer than everybody else and stay more consistent. Okay, so now I want to get into, okay, we've determined maybe you really are in a plateau. What do you do about it? I have 7 things I want you to change to break your plateau as a petite. I'm gonna give you 7 tips for people who are just starting out in their journey, maybe 1 to 3 years, and then my more intermediate to advanced clients here, or subscribers, community members that are like, no, April, I've already done that. Like, what do I do now? The first thing I want you to look at and change is potentially your macros, your protein, fats, and carbohydrates, and also your fiber. That's a type of carbohydrate. If you don't know what that is, let's go with the beginner version first. If you are a beginner to this, just start by increasing your protein. Your protein intake is going to keep you full and satiated. It's going to be really hard to eat in a caloric surplus if you're getting enough protein because it keeps you so full. Try to get 100 grams a day as a petite, and don't go over 135 because you want to leave room for other calories to go to your carbohydrates and your fat. Now, if you're more advanced, you're like, April, I already get 100 grams of protein a day. Okay, I got you, girl. Take a look at your overall macronutrient ratio. I want you to follow my petite fat burning macros ratio. 40% carbs, 35% protein, and 25% fats. If you want to take that a step further, make sure you're getting at least 20 to 30 grams of fiber per day. That is a type of carbohydrate that we should make a different video on. Number 2 is look at your calories. Now, the answer is not always to reduce calories for petites because we typically don't have enough calories to take away. If you're coming to me and my team and looking to take away more calories, but you're only at 1,200, there's no way we're gonna take away more calories because that's not gonna be a healthy and sustainable way for you to achieve more fat loss. However, if you're a complete beginner or you're early on in your journey, you probably do have some extra calories you could take away. So if you're a petite and you're eating 2,000 calories a day, you can probably take out about 100, 150, 200 per day and create a really healthy slight deficit there, but still have enough calories left over to feel full. However, if you've already done this and you're like, April, that's how I lost the first 15 pounds, then I would recommend, instead of taking away more calories, you try something like calorie cycling. That's when you eat higher calories on some days and lower calories on other days, and this is gonna keep your body and your metabolism from adapting to a low calorie intake because you're changing it based on your activity levels. It's a little bit more advanced, but again, this is what you're gonna wanna do to have sustainable long-term fat loss. If you're completely lost with that, like you're at that kind of intermediary place and you want help, I totally encourage you to book a call with my team and just see if working together would be a good fit. On that call, we can help see and identify kind of what is going on that's causing you to be stuck in a plateau, and then help you identify those next steps to take in your health. And if you're a good fit, obviously we'll invite you to work with us, but if not, at least you'll walk away with some good next steps. You can book a call in the description below. Number 3 is your workouts and your exercise programming. If you are new to working out, I want you to start strength training because as a petite, building muscle is really important. Doing cardio is borrowing results, and building muscle is investing in your results in the long term. If you're not already strength training, that may be all you need to do to break through this next plateau. If you've already been lifting weights for a while, I want you to look at progressive overload. That's when you increase the intensity of your workouts either through lifting heavier over time, shortening your rest breaks, or changing the exercises, doing something to just increase the intensity of the workout to get a little bit more expenditure out of those workouts. Because your body adapts to exercise as well. So it's not that you always need to make it harder or faster, but just try changing up whatever program you're on. Number 4 is walking. If you're in a plateau, this is probably the first thing I'd recommend is just increase your step count, because walking is one of those ways that we can burn a little bit of extra calories without it having a huge impact on our overall hunger levels. Meaning if we go and run a 5K, we're gonna be really, really hungry. But studies show if we walk, we just do a little bit of walking extra, it won't increase our hunger levels, but we'll still burn those calories. So it's a way to create that slight deficit and push progress in the right direction without going like overboard and being starving. If you're a bit more advanced and you're like, April, I've already added 2,000 calories extra to my step count per day, I'm at like the max of what I can and want to do, I recommend you add 1 structured cardio session to your training per week. It could be 30 minutes jog, 30 minutes incline walking, 30-minute elliptical, 30-minute high intensity interval training workout, etc. Number 5 is staying hydrated. When we are thirsty, our brains don't really know the difference between hunger and thirst. It just thinks eat. That's because there is a lot of water and hydration in food naturally in fruit and vegetables. But we don't want our brains to be eating unnecessary calories we don't need when we're just thirsty. So as a petite, it's especially important for you to make sure that you are hydrated when you're in a weight loss phase. I would aim for about 2 liters of water a day and just drink it throughout the day to make sure you're not just reaching for things because you're actually thirsty, but your brain doesn't know it. And again, Element is an incredible way to stay hydrated. That's why they're the sponsor of this video as well, because they will keep you feeling hydrated throughout the day and restore those electrolytes that you've lost either through your sweat from a workout or, just dehydration from anything else that you've been up to, if it's hot outside, etc. Number 6 might not really be what you want to hear, but it might be time to reevaluate your goals. If you've been pushing for a really long time on this, maybe you have already reached your goal, but you've just not realized it, and maybe you've taken it a little too far. If you feel like you've reached a healthy weight, it's okay to switch your goals over to be a maintenance goal now. You don't always have to be losing weight. That's really not the goal, and you shouldn't be in a weight loss phase at all times or all year even. You can switch your goal to something fun, like getting your first pull-up or working on your endurance or working on your strength and how heavy you can lift something. Number 7 is, if you've tried all this, I would consider taking a break for 1 to 2 weeks. It can be very helpful to just eat at your maintenance calories for a couple weeks, not go crazy, but just restore a little bit of your calories, maybe take back the exercise, do a deload period. This can kind of reset your metabolism and give your body a break and kind of rest before you jump back into pushing for more progress. I'm super curious to hear what you think of this video. A lot of you requested that I make a video on plateaus and fat loss and calories for petites. So let me know what you think below. If you have any questions, if you feel like you're stuck in a fat loss plateau or a weight loss plateau or a strength plateau, let me know below. I also wanted to give you a little update behind the scenes and show you where we're at with our subscribers. So as of right now, about 70% of our petites who watch my videos regularly aren't subscribed. If you could help me get that number up, I promise I will continue to make killer banger content for the petite community. Let's get that number up together. I'm also releasing a video podcast coming out soonish. I'm not telling when yet, but this has been requested by many of you for years, so you'll be able to listen to fitness and health advice for petites as well as watch it here on this YouTube channel. So if you hit subscribe, I promise to continue to make incredible free content for the petite community, and thank you for watching.